I'm doing it. I am doing it.
Are you? Beat his ass.
Not the TikTok reference.
No! Bitch, get his ass. Get his motherfucking ass.
Who the hell is Josh?
And I absolutely should have kissed you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my vlog channel. Today I am bringing you another reading vlog. Today is going to be a little bit different because it's kind of a continuation of a previous video that I did. So a few months back I made a video where I read 3 of Colleen Hoover's most popular books, and I vlogged and rated and just shared my entire experience with you all. Now, if you've seen that video, you would know that I did rate It Ends With Us a 2-star. I did not love that book. It was not my fave, but Colleen Hoover today released the second book following that one called It Starts With Us, which follows Lily and Atlas, and I did pre-order it because despite me not being Colleen Hoover's biggest fan, I do hate FOMO. So I did pre-order it and it's delivering to my house today. I made a poll asking if you guys wanted to see me do a reading vlog and you said yes. So here we are. If you haven't seen the first video, I would highly recommend watching it, at least watching the portion where I talk about It Ends With Us, because that'll kind of prepare you for how this video is gonna go. I am not a Colleen Hoover stan. I do not enjoy most of her books that I have read. Pretty much every book I've read by her has been like 3 or 2 stars, and then I do have one very high 5-star read from her. I never really know what I'm gonna get when it comes to Colleen. I just feel like it'll make good content. My book should be delivering in the next hour, and I will talk to you when it gets here, and then we'll start the reading vlog. Okay, I just went and got the mail because it said my book was delivered, but I also have a few other bookish packages that I thought would be fun to open. In this box, we have the book, and we have a portable charger. I did buy a portable charger for my phone. It's really cute. Here it is. It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. It doesn't have that nice soft matte cover that a lot of her books have, so that's kind of a bummer, but it's floppy. Maximum floppage. I can appreciate. I saw some people online saying that their copy was like really tall and different sizing compared to Colleen's other books, but I just checked and mine fits and is the exact same height as my copy of It Ends With Us. So that's nice. I like that. I ordered some fan art prints from one of my favorite artists. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. These are done by Jess Draws on Instagram. First of all, my favorites of all time, Jude and Carden. This is literally my favorite fan art of them I think that's ever existed in the world. And yes, his tail's in it. People who hate this book simply because Carden has a tail need to, 1, grow the fuck up, and 2, get over it. It is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. She also did one of Lily and Lo from Addicted Calloway, and they are definitely my favorite of the 3 couples. I love Lauren Hale. I love Lauren Hale. Oh, stunning, stunning. I need to frame these and put them on my wall. But yeah, I got these off of Jess's Redbubble. And then I got a fun little surprise box from Aardvark Book Club. They emailed me and told me that they are a new book subscription service similar to like Book of the Month. And I believe that they just launched and this is their first box. And I actually have no idea what's even gonna be in here, so I'm so excited. I will also link the Aardvark Book Club box in the description as well if you want to check them out. Oh my gosh. I believe that this is most similar to Book of the Month, where they have like a few different options of picks you can choose and then you pick which one you like the most. It says, "Dear member, it's officially our launch month and you're one of the first to receive a box from us. On behalf of the whole Aardvark team, I want to say thank you for supporting us. For our first month, we aim to represent a range of genres. We have a slow burn mystery set in Florida, a feminist retelling of Greek mythology, a gothic fiction tale reminiscent of Taylor Swift's latest album." Not a book. How dare they? Are you telling me that this book is like Evermore? So it seems like they sent me 3 of the picks. First we have Ithaca by Claire North. This is the feminist Greek mythology retelling. This is definitely my favorite cover of the 3 books. This is The Night Ship by Jess Kidd. This is the historical coming of age story. And then The Marsh Queen. Anytime I hear anything about like Marsh, I'm like, oh, Where the Crawdads Sing? I actually haven't read Where the Crawdads Sing. This is a slow burn mystery. Ooh, okay. So if you want to check out Aardvark Book Club, I will definitely have them linked in the description box. If anyone from Aardvark sees this, thank you so much for sending me these books. I'm so excited. I guess I'm just gonna start reading this. How many pages is it? 320. I feel like I could fly through this. That's the one thing about Colleen Hoover's books is that they're just so easy to just read and get through. They are so fast paced. Writing's easy to understand. And I feel like every time I read one of her books, I finish it in like 3 days or less. Like it's impossible for me to take longer than a week reading a Colleen Hoover book. I honestly have no idea what to expect. I don't even know, is this set after? Yeah, it is, okay. The back says, Lily and Ryle have just settled into a civil co-parenting rhythm with their daughter Emerson when Lily suddenly runs into Alice nearly 2 years after they last spoke. There's a 2-year time jump? Okay, I'm actually not gonna read. I'm not gonna read the back. I'm changing my mind. One of the things that I didn't like about It Ends With Us was Atlas and Lily's relationship didn't feel fleshed out enough to me. I felt like I needed more. So maybe this book will give me what I need. Oh, there's a letter in the beginning. This novel was written as a thank you for the tremendous support, and because of that, I want to deliver a much lighter experience. Lily and Atlas deserve it. I hope you enjoy their journey. So yeah, this book sounds like it's gonna be lighter, fluffier, happier, healing. I'm here for it. I just read the Mindfuck series. That reading vlog is coming very soon. Keep an eye out on my channel for that. And that was heavy as fuck. So I'm ready for a little bit of a lighter read. So I'm kind of in the mood to read this. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, it's dual POV. We have Atlas and Lily's point of view. A lot of y'all will probably appreciate that. I'm not a dual POV stan. I like to just have, I honestly like third person. The way asshole is misspelled in red spray paint across the back door of Bibs makes me think of my mother. That's the first sentence. Colleen and her beginning lines. She really knows how to open up a book. Like the first line of Colleen's books are always iconic. I can give her that. I'm gonna read and I will check back in when I have updates. We're only 11 pages in and I already have an update. I should have mentioned at the beginning that, but I didn't. This is definitely going to be a spoiler included reading vlog. There will be spoilers all up in this because I'm gonna talk about what's happening, give you my thoughts, react to things. So if you don't wanna be spoiled for anything that's in this book, click off now, check out the next one. Don't worry about it. I totally understand. We are already on page 11 and we have a letter to Ellen DeGeneres. I was kind of hoping that that would not make a return in this book, but unfortunately it has. So at the start of this book, it's been a year and a half since Lily and Atlas had spoken to each other. Lily is just a single mom, co-parenting. Ryle's getting to have Emerson like 1 or 2 days a week, and she's still working at her flower shop. The morning that we're starting off, Lily and Atlas actually ran into each other on their ways to work, but they were both in a rush because Lily was running late and Atlas had a break-in at his restaurant that he owns. So they only saw each other for like a brief 5 minutes, but Lily promised to text Atlas, and that's kind of where we're at, is like that morning. And now Lily is so conflicted about, should she text Atlas? Should she even like open those doors, open that possibility? Like she knows Ryle's gonna hate it, which I'm like, bitch, why the fuck do we care how Ryle feels about you dating Atlas? If you wanna date Atlas, date Atlas. If a man ever put his hands on me physically, I would never take into account anything he ever said ever again. I don't care if we have a child together. You're not ever seeing my child. Bye, it's my child, not yours anymore. I'm like, Atlas is right there to be a stepdad. Get Ryle out of the pic. But whatever, she's conflicted in her mind. So now she's going to her car, taking a little break from work and writing Ellen a letter to help clear up how she's feeling. I will say the writing is good right now. Like the actual writing style is good. It's entertaining, it's gripping, it's simple, but you can tell Colleen's written a lot of books. Like, I feel like her writing just gets better and better. The books that I read from her that are published within the last few years, in terms of writing style, are just so much better. You can see so much growth. I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy her writing style, at least in this book. Atlas is also discussing how he feels about Lily and everything with Theo, but I literally don't remember who Theo is. Was Theo in the last book? I don't know. Theo's a 12-year-old boy? Atlas is getting advice from a 12-year-old boy? Huh? Lily gave Ryle a key to her house. He just has access to her house. The man that physically assaulted her has access to her house, and she hasn't asked for the key back. I understand wanting to have your child's father in their life and co-parenting, but like, be fucking for real. Okay, Alice got me cracking up with the "why are you avoiding me" pasta. I wish that if I avoided people's texts, they brought me pasta. Like, damn. Okay, I've discovered that Theo is the son of Brad, who is one of Atlas's friends that we did meet in It Ends With Us. I just literally forgot that that even happened, so. And we also just found out that when Atlas told Lily that he was moving to Boston, back in the original book when they were young, he said, I'm moving to Boston, moving in with my uncle. We just found out that that actually was a lie, and Atlas actually did not have any family. He just went to Boston because there was like shelters and programs and more resources for him to get back on his feet. My lashes are going crazy today. Sorry. I'm getting distracted. This is probably not the best thing to use when I'm trying to read, but here we are. Not the TikTok reference. No! Okay, I am officially 90 pages into the book. So we are making progress, but I need to head to Target because I have a Target pickup. But I figured while I drive, I would check and see if I could get the audiobook so I could listen to it in the car. And it is on Scribd. So if you have a Scribd membership, you can listen to the audiobook with your Scribd membership. So that's pretty iconic. I highly recommend Scribd. This is not sponsored, but if you want to check it out, you can use my link. I think it gives us each like a free month, but Scribd's the best. If you like audiobooks and reading ebooks on your phone, the only downside with Scribd is that you can't read the ebooks on your Kindle. What I would give to be able to read Scribd ebooks, but I mostly use Scribd to find audiobooks for my physical TBR. I'm gonna go to Target, keep reading, listening, whatever, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, I'm back home from Target. I managed to listen to pretty much the entirety of chapter 12 in audiobook while I was running my errands. Definitely not really a fan of the audiobook. I'll probably only listen to it if I really need to, but the narrator, her voice is just not how I envisioned Lily's voice at all, so it was like taking me out of the story. While I do enjoy Colleen Hoover's writing style in the sense of like she knows how to keep things entertaining and interesting and fast-paced, I don't love the writing devices that she likes to use a lot of the time. Like in this book especially, she is overusing letters as a writing device. Like, we've had too many goddamn letters, and I'm not even a third of the way in the book at this point. And in this chapter, Lily and Atlas go on their first date, and Lily ends up falling asleep on the way to the restaurant because it's like a 45-minute drive, and she's had a really long day of just watching Emerson and, you know, mom stuff. Instead of waking her up, Atlas decides to just let her sleep, and he reads through the old journals that Lily gave him from back when they were first connecting and all that stuff. So he reads all these journals, and then he takes the time to write like an 8-page letter to Lily in his notes app, apparently, before she even wakes up. And then he shows it to her when she wakes up. And I'm like, Bessie, there's no fucking way Atlas 1 wrote this long of a letter, written this, you know, polished and this crafty, and you could tell a writer wrote this letter. There's no way he did this in that amount of time. I just think the letters are being overdone at this point, and I would rather just have her choose something else to use as a plot device to give us flashbacks into the past and reminders and all this stuff. Because in this letter, Atlas basically just details all this shit he went through with his mom and why, like, because his mom was so rude to him, how much he appreciated Lily's kindness toward him. And yeah, it just, like, there was no fucking way you wrote that in that amount of time. I can only suspend my disbelief to a point, Bestie, and we're getting a little ridiculous. So, yeah, we also found out at the end of that chapter that Alyssa cheated on Marcus. Is that his name? Ryle's sister cheated on her husband back in... Why is it focusing on the background? Like, Jesus Christ. T. Not that I really, like, care all that much, but it's T. Oh, I also feel like I should add that I am actually enjoying the dual POV in this book. Normally I don't enjoy dual POV because usually I only care about one person's point of view, or I care about one way more than the other, and so getting to the other point of view is, I like kind of dread it, and it just takes me out of the vibe. But I'm actually equally enjoying both Atlas and Lily's point of views. Out of all the men in the Colleen Hoover books that I've read, Atlas is definitely my favorite. I just like reading from his perspective. I wish he wasn't getting girl advice from a 13-year-old boy. That's a little bit strange to me, but whatever. Okay, so we just found out that Atlas actually has a brother. Atlas's mom shows up and is like, I can't find Josh. And Alice is like, who the hell is Josh? Turns out he has a brother named Josh who's 11. There's a lot of young kids in this story, and he's missing and has been for like 2 weeks. And I'm gonna make a bet right here, right now, that the person that has been vandalizing Atlas's restaurant and spelling all these names wrong, all these curse words on his graffiti, is Atlas's 11-year-old brother. That's my bet. I'll let you know if I'm right. It has been a few hours. I took a nice, cozy, relaxing little bubble bath, washed my hair, read more of the book. I would say a little bit over halfway. While I was in the bath reading, I was not vlogging because if you know, you know. I tabbed some pages because I wanted to talk about a few things that have happened. I was right. I was correct. Atlas's brother, Josh, was the person vandalizing his restaurants, and now Atlas is currently taking Josh in to live with him while he tries to figure out if he can get custody so that Josh doesn't have to live with Atlas's mom, who is very abusive. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I do think it goes without saying if you've read the first book, this series has a huge trigger warning for domestic abuse, child abuse, etc. So that was kind of a predictable plot twist, but that's okay. That's fine. Not every twist has to be like the most shocking thing in the world. On page 151, Atlas and Lily had just got through with a FaceTime call. They're having a lot of FaceTime calls in this book because they have like opposite kind of work schedules. So they FaceTime a lot. And I actually do like that aspect of the book. I think the FaceTime calls are some of my favorite parts because as someone that's like had many friendships and I've even dated people like online, it's pretty fun, like that tension, you know, like the FaceTime call, the texting, like it's flirty, it's fun, it's just entertaining. But they had just finished one of their FaceTime calls. In this FaceTime call is pretty serious because it was when Atlas was telling Lily about his brother and how he's trying to get custody and whatever. And after the call, Atlas texts Lily and says, "Thank you for being the most comforting part of my life right now. Thank you for always being the beacon I need every time I feel lost. Whether you mean to shine on me or not, I am grateful for you. I've missed you and I absolutely should have kissed you." Because when they went on their first date, he said he wasn't gonna kiss her because he wanted to take things slow. Bitch, I was in the bath just giggling, kicking my feet, blushing. To say that I'm not swooning a little bit for Atlas in this book would be a lie. And then the other thing I tabbed that I wanted to know was at the end of chapter 18, Lily is having a conversation with Alyssa, who is Ryle's sister, and she's talking to Alyssa about dating Atlas and how she's like, you know, having these feelings for him. Alyssa says, "I'm happy for you, Lily. Marshall's gonna like him too. He's so likable." She says that like it's the worst possible outcome. And that's a bad thing? "I don't know if it's a good thing," she says. "This whole thing is muddled. You know that. I don't need to explain it to you. But I can absolutely see why you're hesitant to tell Ryle about Atlas. Knowing his ex-wife is sharing a bed with that block of perfection has to be extremely emasculating." And then Lily looks at Alyssa dead in the motherfucking face and says, "Not as emasculating as beating your wife should feel." Are you? Bitch, get his ass. Get his motherfucking ass. Get his ass. I really hope this book ends with Ryle dying in an unfortunate accident because I hate that character. Rip him up, girl. Rip him up. This book so far, I think, is really good at showing the journey of a woman getting out of an abusive relationship and healing and dealing with that trauma. Like, it does paint a very good picture, and I think it's an important story, and I'm definitely enjoying how Colleen is handling the topic of abuse and this abusive relationship in this book compared to any other book that she has written. And then you also have the dynamic on the flip side where Atlas is attempting to save his little brother from an abusive parent. So you really are getting like both of these beautiful stories of healing and love and growth and just escaping toxic environments. And so I am enjoying that part of the story. I'm definitely preferring this book over the first one, for sure. And it does have a lot of tiebacks to like the letters with Ellen and just like Dory and like the cheesy references that were used in the first book. It seems like Colleen Hoover is aware that that was very cheesy to do in the first book, and so she's referencing it in a way that's almost ironic, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain. This book is a lot less cheesy than It Ends With Us, I will say. It's a lot less straightforward, in your face cheese. I am on chapter 19, page 171, so we are nearing the end. I mean, not quite, but I'm gonna see how far I can get in this tonight, and then we might have to finish it and end the vlog tomorrow. I do have a smidge of an update. I'm on chapter 20, and Lily is going to a wedding that one of her employees at the floral shop is having. She's getting married. So Lily is going to the wedding, and she invited Atlas as her date. And initially, Alyssa and her husband were supposed to go to this wedding, but they canceled and they're not going to make it because they're doing something with Ryle and their parents for their parents' anniversary. But I'm going to do another prediction, and I'm going to predict that either Ryle is going to show up at this wedding and see Lily with Atlas, and that's going to be a thing, or someone that Ryle knows is going to see Lily with Atlas and tell Ryle. Either way, I think somehow regarding this wedding is how Ryle's going to find out that Lily is seeing Atlas again, and I think shit's going to hit the fan. Good morning. It is the next day. I pretty much just woke up, but last night in bed, I did finish It Starts With Us. I have a few things dog-eared that I want to talk about, moments that I had commentary on. I believe in the last clip, I predicted that Ryle was going to find out about August. Look, Taylor Swift's album comes out in 2 days. You can tell she's on my mind. I predicted that Ryle would find out about Atlas and Lily somehow dealing with the wedding, and that was true. So Ryle wasn't actually at this wedding, but he shows up to Lily's apartment the next day because she's not answering her calls. She's like hungover, she's sleeping in, whatever. And he finds 2 glasses of wine and her underwear like on the couch and puts 2 and 2 together and asks if it's Atlas, and then blows the fuck up at Lily. But the night before all that happens and Ryle shows up, Atlas and Lily come back from the wedding and they're just sharing their night together, and this is when Atlas finds out about Lily's like heart tattoo that's like on her shoulder or whatever, and Atlas sees that there are bite marks around it from when Ryle bit her in the last book. I don't know why, somehow I forgot that that happened until it was brought up in this book. I remember him shoving her, I remember her cutting her hand or something, I remember her getting pushed down the stairs, but I do not remember him biting her. That was just something I guess I just conveniently forgot. So now she has like these bite marks around the tattoo, and when Atlas sees the bite marks, he gets furious. There's a line, and I think it's so important, and it shows a lot about like the differences between Atlas and Ryle, where Lily says to herself, Atlas is so angry, but this is not an anger I'm afraid of. I realize the significance of this moment. I'm alone with an angry man in my apartment, but I'm not in fear for my life because he isn't angry at me. He is angry at the person who hurt me. So I really liked that scene. I feel like that was like kind of monumental. Atlas ends up leaving that night and going back to his house, and then that's the next morning when Ryle shows up. And he gets so mad that Atlas is the one that's been over and seeing Lily that he shoves Lily up against the door and like has her in a chokehold. And Lily's like, he didn't hurt me, it's okay, it's okay. And I'm like, girl, he put his hands on you. Like, what do you fucking mean? Like, sure, he didn't bruise you, he didn't bite you, he didn't slap you, but like, he fucking like slammed you up against a door. Bye, gone, cut the dick off, get him out of your life. No, thank you, that's the last straw. Then, after Ryle blows up at Lily at her apartment, he goes to Atlas's restaurant and beats him up. He literally punches him in the fucking face, and Atlas is like bleeding, but Atlas is refusing to fight back. I was kind of excited a little bit for Atlas to just like beat his ass. He doesn't do that. Instead, Atlas just reasons with him and talks with him and is basically like, you were a fucking shitty husband. I am not the reason why your marriage ended. You're the reason why your marriage ended, and if you can't wrap your head around that, that's your fucking problem, basically. He just like tells him how it is. Both Atlas and Lily set boundaries. Lily sets boundaries with Ryle, very firm, strict boundaries, and says, I'm gonna be seeing Atlas, you better fucking get used to him, like, we're gonna be a team, whatever. You will not be allowed to have Emerson alone, you will not be allowed to have Emerson overnight, all this stuff, and we have to build up that trust. You need to be in anger management, which I'm like, bitch, he should have been in anger management from the beginning of book 1. I don't understand why it took us 2 whole books to get to that resolution, but like, you should have demanded anger management and therapy right from the beginning, baby girl, but whatever. I guess Ryle's finally going to therapy. And then Atlas actually ends up getting custody of his little brother, Josh, and setting boundaries with their mother, Sutton. And so that's kind of the ending of the book, and then they move in together, and then a year later they get married in the epilogue, and yada yada yada. I honestly do think that the book ending was kind of like rushed, and again, the letters came back. Like literally how Atlas asked Lily to move in with him through a letter. The only look we get at Lily and Atlas's wedding is a letter that he's writing for his vows to Lily. So it's just like letter, 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 letter. I didn't love how quick the ending happened. I felt like it was like a 15-page little like bloop. Like it could have been a little bit longer, I think. And I didn't love the letters all throughout the book. Like it was just too many goddamn letters. I wish that the characters connected more with each other face to face. Atlas just dumped all his feelings in his past and like everything through letters. And I'm like, can you just tell her to her face? Can we just have a combo? Like that would be great. I was kind of wondering how the title It Starts With Us was going to pop up and how it was going to be intricated in the story, and I actually adored the way it was done because it's not with Lily and Atlas, but it's with Josh and Atlas, because Josh gets assigned to make like a family tree for school, and he's confused at first because he's like, I can't do it, I don't know anyone. Like he's supposed to look up his ancestry and all this stuff, and he's like, I don't know anyone, I don't know my mom's or dad's family, like I've just been kind of alone. But then at the end of the book, he does do the project and he makes a little tree sapling with just 2 branches for Atlas and Josh, and he says like, oh, well, I'll just make a new family tree that starts with us. And I thought that was so cute. One thing I will say though is normally Colleen Hoover's like covers mean something, and I have no idea like why this is the cover. Maybe I missed something, but like I'm trying to think back to where like there was waters and like, is this a daffodil? I don't remember either of those things being like an important part of the story. So I'm assuming that this cover is just cute and doesn't fit with the story, which is kind of a bummer because I kind of like figuring out the mystery of like how does this connect with the book. It's over. We finished it. I will say, I'm not even gonna lie, I enjoyed my time reading it. Obviously there were things that I didn't love about it, but for the most part, I enjoyed the story, I was sucked in, and I felt like it was a nice resolution to Lily and Atlas's story, and I liked that the relationship wasn't toxic, and it was healthy, and it was a lot about healing, and yeah, it was good. There is a little bit of LGBT representation in Theo, who is like the therapist kid, but not enough to where I would say that this is like an LGBT book, you know. It was just sprinkled in there for some diversity representation points. I see what you're doing, Colleen. Overall, I enjoyed it, and I'm gonna give it a 4-star. I'm gonna give it a 4-star. Do I recommend it? That's tricky because I can't say that I do, simply because you do need to read It Ends With Us first before you can read this, and I don't think I recommend that book. So that's kind of confusing, but if you read It Ends With Us and you didn't like it, I honestly would still recommend you reading this. I feel like this book did make me appreciate It Ends With Us more, because I feel like this really emphasizes more on Lily healing and getting out of that relationship, and I feel like that's a very important part of the book. So I'm glad it was told, and I'm glad it's here, and I enjoyed it. So that is gonna be the end of this reading vlog. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you very, very soon. The next upload is definitely gonna be my mindfuck reading vlog. It's just 5 books instead of 1, so it's taking me a little bit longer to edit, but I hope you'll enjoy that as well. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't and you wanna see more content. I will talk to you all in my next video. Okay, goodbye.